The first Apple store ever to unionize. Scratch that. They closed it. The Supreme Court has ruled that it's okay to send refugees back into deadly situations. And to make it all equal, if not diverse, it's also okay to deploy a weed killer that kills weeds and people who smoke weed and people who don't. Well, at least it's not fascism. In the gas chamber sense. Just in other senses. White House guy says he won't sign a bipartisan housing plan unless the bipartisans also pass voting restrictions. I mean, you can't give people housing and the vote. Coddle, coddle. As of high noon Texas time, protest against ICE is now terrorism, and fireworks are now explosives. We expect calling our representatives will shortly be sedition. The newly christened terrorists who were caught in the act of trying to stop state terror were sentenced to 30 to 100 years. It's on them. If they would have killed a cop, they would be slapped with a pardon. The other lesson is that we are not living in fascism. We are merely living through a fascistically minded judiciary, fulfilling the demands of a fascist-adjacent executive that curtails the autonomy of protesters, universities, media, immigrants, Palestinians, and, speaking generally, people. So, no cause for alarm, unless you intend to actually block the fascists. Note, the DJT junta has already implemented 50% of Project 2025, and millions are sleepwalking through this. But millions of others are finding their footing, their outrage, and their guts. Result? Too early to call. It turns out the American blue do-over of the Trump swimming pool that most of us call the reflecting pool warmed the water and birthed a pool of American green algae, which it further turns out is better at absorbing CO2 than trees. But don't tell the Don. He can't allow his error to ameliorate a hoax, since ameliorate is an elite coastal hoax word. The algae attracts ducks, who are then poisoned by his federal employee volunteers pouring in hydrogen peroxide, left over from its use in successfully eradicating COVID. Or was that bleach? I wonder, if you used bleach and made the water white, could you rent out the new whitewater rafting pool, enhancing the amusement park that is our nation's capital, which we really should name Trumpington, D.C., when no judges or Americans are looking?
U.S. peace battleships remain on alert in the Persian Gulf, protecting the Gulf from the Persians.
Americans were ecstatic over Iran's unconditional surrender. Oh, that's something else. Vice Vance explained to Bibi the Yahoo that Trump is the only world leader who supports Israel, and Bibi explained that no other world leader thinks the U.S. won the war. Do I have a dog in that race? Between those two dogs, I'll go with the International Criminal Court. But since Bibi won't listen to reason or the Don, all bets are once again off. In almost related news, a 1-year-old boy has been shot dead in Mississippi after his mother was accused of shoplifting. Bibi the Yahoo explained that all black children grow up to be shoplifters, and that the cop who shot him was not trained by Israel. Lately. Look it up. The Trumpistrate has quit a global project to curtail tax havens for multinational thieves, known to some as corporations, from defrauding the U.S. of some $40 billion annually. Some corps, like Honeywell, get money from the U.S., that spells us, and then hide their profits in Switzerland. American Express parked profits in Jersey, Old Jersey, and saved $423 million, which makes them smart, right? Other useful principalities used to avoid silly taxes include Cyprus, Singapore, Bermuda, Malta, and that old chestnut, Grand Cayman. But be not quick to condemn, for Trump is a man of the people, especially clean coal people, corporate people, and island people. We won't say which island. Scientists, if you believe in that shit, have discovered a possible method of preventing lung cancer. But the redoubtable DJT-RFK organization has denounced the study as having been unsupervised by any royal appointees. The White Palace wants to tie federal grants to the king's agenda rather than to the rule of law, promising to stop all questioning of the God-given two-gender system, to thwart efforts at diversity and inclusion, and to ban assistance in voter registration. We can learn from this that difference is bad. Variations in gender identity are worse, and voting is mostly fraud. This is exactly what we voted for, right? Other cuts already implemented have blocked healthcare, disaster preparedness, green energy, education, mental health, and public broadcasting. In other words, they have saved the unkindest cuts of all for America.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bezos. This crosswalk is sponsored by Amazon Prime with an important message. Please don't tax the rich. Otherwise, all the other billionaires will move to Florida too.
Imagine giving business a veto over science. Newly proposed strictures would affect, which is to say stifle, science, always a problematic and woke pursuit. Federal grants would come with restrictions on illegitimate research like saving the planet or eliminating diseases. At least with decisions about science transferred from scientists to political appointees, we'll have some accountability to Russell Vogt, 2025 projector, who was appointed overwhelmingly by Don the Con. The Trumpistrate has abandoned, for now, a plan to kill an ocean monitoring system and possibly the world, removing hundreds of instruments that can predict oceanic current changes and coastal flooding. The terminated project is part of an international collaboration, ergo Marxist. A spoke for the National Used to Be Science Foundation said the dismantling, quote, aligns with the NSF's strategy to have a nimbler approach to priorities. I mean, why otherwise have two sides of your mouth to talk out of? This also explains why the feds, fed up with unsupervised science, say they refuse to force Americans to live in fear of flooding. Better to let it come without notice and with only momentary pain and extinction.